What if the next Battlefield game, the one we've all been waiting for, is already a failure? That's a heavy question, I know, but after the last few years, it's a question we have to ask. We've been burned by hype, misled by marketing, and let down by launches. Today, we're not just going to look at the rumors surrounding Battlefield 6. We're going to dissect the patterns, the history, and the industry pressures that have led one of gaming's most beloved franchises to the brink. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why you need to be cautious about the next Battlefield and how to protect yourself from another massive disappointment. For over 2 decades, the name Battlefield meant something. It wasn't just another shooter, it was an event. While other franchises churned out yearly installments, a new Battlefield was a generational leap. It promised epic scale, strategic team play, and the kind of emergent, unscripted moments that create gaming memories for a lifetime. We all remember the first time we saw the skyscraper fall in Siege of Shanghai, the first time we successfully coordinated an attack with a full squad of friends. This was the magic. Battlefield 3 and 4 set a modern standard for the franchise, while Battlefield 1 reached a true cultural peak. Its reveal trailer, set against the backdrop of the Great War, was a stroke of genius. It was somber, respectful, and brutally intense. It felt fresh and different, especially when its main competitor, Call of Duty, was launching into space with Infinite Warfare to a famously negative reception. People weren't just excited for Battlefield 1, they were proud of it. It felt like our franchise was leading the way. That goodwill, that mountain of trust built over years, is precisely why the subsequent fall has been so painful. Because unlike a yearly release, when a Battlefield game is bad, we're stuck with it for years. The hope for a new, incredible experience turns into a long, drawn-out period of disappointment. And that disappointment began with a single, confusing trailer. This was the Battlefield 5 reveal. And for a huge portion of the community, it just felt wrong. Instead of the gritty, authentic World War II experience many were expecting after Battlefield 1's success, we got a trailer that seemed to prioritize a wacky, anachronistic aesthetic over the tone of the setting. The community was immediately divided, and DICE's infamous "don't like it, don't buy it" response fanned the flames of controversy. The game itself launched with significant content gaps, a frustrating live service model that dripped content out at a snail's pace, and a feeling that the developers were out of touch with their core audience. Battlefield 5 wasn't a complete disaster on a technical level, but it was a marketing and public relations catastrophe that fractured the community's trust. And then came Battlefield 2042. Oh, that trailer. It was a masterpiece of marketing. It had the classic jet ejection kill, the tornadoes, the massive scale. It was a direct shot of nostalgia and promise right into the veins of the community. It seemed like they had listened. It looked like the Battlefield we all knew and loved was finally back. The hype was immense, arguably even bigger than for Battlefield 1. Pre-orders skyrocketed, but it was a mask. The game that was released was a hollow shell of what was promised. It was riddled with bugs, performance issues, and bizarre design choices. Core franchise features like a traditional scoreboard, class system, and server browser were simply gone. The 128-player maps, while large, often felt empty and poorly designed. The new specialist system, a clear attempt to chase the hero shooter trend, undermined the anonymous, class-based teamwork that was the very foundation of Battlefield. The game was so fundamentally broken and feature incomplete that its player count on Steam famously dropped below that of Battlefield 5 just weeks after launch. It was an unmitigated disaster that did more damage to the franchise's reputation than any other entry. This wasn't just incompetence, it was a symptom of a larger problem within EA. We saw the exact same pattern with Star Wars, Battlefront 2. A beloved franchise, a solid core game, completely undermined by publisher greed in the form of pay-to-win loot boxes. Even after the developers at DICE fixed the progression and turned Battlefront 2 into a genuinely fantastic game, the stink of that launch controversy never truly washed away. The pattern is clear: a fantastic marketing campaign that promises the world, followed by a launch that fails to deliver, leaving the development team to spend the next 2 years fixing a broken product while the community's trust bleeds out. So, what does this all really mean? Why is this history so critically important as we look toward Battlefield 6? It's because we are no longer just dealing with a bad game here and there. We are dealing with a systemic erosion of trust. For us, the players, this means the relationship is broken. Think of it like a friendship. If a friend promises you something incredible, gets your hopes up, and then lets you down, you're disappointed. If they do it again, you become wary. If they do it a third time, you stop believing their promises altogether. That's where many of us are with DICE and EA. The marketing for the next Battlefield, no matter how spectacular, will be met with a healthy and frankly necessary dose of skepticism. We've been trained to expect a bait and switch. This fundamentally changes how we engage with the pre-release cycle. The joy of speculation and hype has been replaced by anxiety and cynicism. We're not just asking, will this game be fun? We're asking, will this game even work? Will it have the features it's supposed to have? Is this trailer showing us the real game, or is it another illusion? This leads to the future of the game itself. The stakes for Battlefield 6 are astronomical. This isn't just about launching a successful product, it's about saving a legacy. Many would argue this is the final chance for DICE to prove they still understand what made Battlefield great. A repeat of the 2042 launch could be a knockout blow for the franchise's relevance in the mainstream market. So what do they need to do? It's not about revolution, but restoration. They need to restore the core pillars. That means a return to a robust class system that promotes teamwork. It means bringing back meaningful, large-scale destruction that isn't just a gimmick, but a tactical tool. It means creating maps that are designed for strategic play, not just to look impressive in a trailer. It means launching a feature-complete, polished game. No more "we'll add the scoreboard later." It needs to be there on day one. The biggest gamble would be to chase trends again. If Battlefield 6 comes out with specialists, hero abilities, or a focus that strays from its military sandbox roots, it will signal that the publisher has learned nothing. Finally, what does this mean for the industry? The Battlefield saga is a perfect case study in the perils of modern A game development. It highlights the dangerous disconnect between the marketing department and the development studio. The pressure from publishers like EA for massive, market-leading profits often forces a "release it now, fix it later" mentality. The live service model, while potentially great for keeping a game alive, has been used as an excuse to sell an unfinished product at full price. We, the consumers, have been conditioned to accept this. Pre-ordering, a practice born from a time of physical scarcity, now serves little purpose other than to give publishers our money for a product we haven't seen based on marketing that has proven to be untrustworthy. The lesson from Battlefield, 2042, Cyberpunk, 2077, and so many others is that the most powerful tool we have as consumers is our patience. The hype train is designed to make you feel like you'll miss out if you don't buy in early, but the opposite is true. By waiting, by demanding a finished quality product before opening our wallets, we force the industry to be better. The only language a massive publisher truly understands is the language of sales figures. A weak launch, punished for its poor quality, sends a much stronger message than 1,000 angry Reddit posts. Look, I say all this not because I hate Battlefield. I say it because I love it, and I want to see it return to glory as much as anyone. But hope is not a strategy. The message of this video is simple. Be cautious. Don't pre-order. Don't get swept up in the marketing. Don't even necessarily trust the initial reviews from YouTubers or influencers. Wait. Wait for the open beta. Wait for the public launch. Wait to see what the actual finished product looks like in the hands of real players. And that leads me to my question for you. I want to know what you think. What is the single most important feature that Battlefield 6 must have to win you back? Is it the class system, the destruction, the setting? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm genuinely curious to see what the community's priorities are. If you found this analysis helpful and want more deep dives that respect your intelligence and your wallet, consider subscribing to the channel. We're building a community here based on honest, critical discussion about the games we love. Thanks for watching. Stay cautious out there.